We're back. Same shirt, just because it's the same recording session. Don't do it. Do not come for me. I wash my behind. I be showering. I'm clean. I got deodorant. I'm cool. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Anyway, as you can see with the title of this video, this is my Demon Slayer Hashira ranking. With the most recent season of Demon Slayer coming out, I kind of want to rank all of the Hashira till the end of the series. And I just want to say now, spoiler alert. If you go any further past here, you're gonna get spoiled. I might be doing some reading at the same time, who knows, but I'm just gonna get it off. I'm gonna start it off right. We're gonna go from weakest to strongest, obviously. So we have number 9, Shinobu. I was really contemplating putting Shinobu higher because of her showing with Doma and the relativity to Doma and speed, in my opinion. Even though she eventually got, well, it's hard to say that she bit the dust because of the way that her goal was to be absorbed by Duma. She didn't think that she would be the one to beat him. And that takes a certain amount of planning strategically, but also at the same time, it takes a certain amount of surrendering and releasing because we'll never know what Shinobu going for the kill for Doma looks like without that plan because she knew based on how strong Doma was that was going to be necessary to do. Now, because she had that mindset, we'll never know what it looks like. Obviously, she wouldn't win, and she knew that from the jump that she wasn't going to win, so she was going for certain victory. We'll never know how much a fight between them would look like if her goal was not to be absorbed so he can be poisoned. But we can put it like this. After Shinobu got absorbed by Doma with the poison in her body, Doma went on to fight Inosuke and Kanao and made Kanao give up one of her eyes, made Inosuke wall out. They went blow for blow. They was going at it. But the poison did enough for Inosuke. No shade to them either, obviously. They up there. No shade. But Shinobu's poison was enough for Kanao and Inosuke to finish the job. I'm just calling it what it is. I'm just calling it what it is. But because of that factor of Doma being Upper Moon 2 and Shinobu being able to do that, I put Shinobu at the bottom, but she is interchangeable with the person before her. And the person before her is this man. Y'all not gonna like this. Uzui Tengen. See, Tengen is strong. He's mad strong, mad fast. He's built different. A lot of people think that if any other Hashira was in the situation as Tengen, they would have died earlier. I disagree, but I do see that there is some validity to that statement. I do agree. Not every Hashira would have been able to beat Gyoko and Daki, but I do believe with the speed that those two had, the Hashira speed at that, like if you brought Gyu with Tengen, I don't think he would have won. If you brought Shinobu with Tengen, I don't think they would have won. However, I do believe that if you had brought, I'm looking at like all my covers over here. If you had brought anyone else, I think they would have got. I think they would have got it done. They would have got it done for sure. Muchiro, Kanroji, Himajima, Sanemi, Obanai, Set Your Heart Ablaze, Rengoku. Oh. Rest in peace. Sorry. I gotta set my heart ablaze now because I can't be sad. No, he wouldn't want that for me. Anyone could have done that. Any of the Hashira could have done that except Gyu. Now the problem is the story goes on, and that's where these two get left behind. Well, actually, these three, because who's coming after Tengen is, of course, Mr. Kyojuro Rengoku. Mr. Set Your Heart Ablaze. It's self-explanatory. Through the ones with Akaza, it would have been hemmed up. If it wasn't for the fact that Rengoku was, I don't even know. Rengoku lost the plot. I feel like in my bones, Rengoku lost the plot. Now, you can also argue that Akaza was not fighting to kill Rengoku because he thought he had so much potential. And so he was fighting to defeat him and still give an opportunity for him to be turned. And so, in that regards, is the reason why Rengoku is a lot lower, in my opinion, because he was able to contend with Akaza, but only in Akaza that wanted to keep him alive, essentially. He even yelled at him at his fatal wounds and was like, yo, like, join the side. Like, I'm trying to fight. And Rengoku was like, I'm a man. Just a man. Nothing else. And Akaza was like, all right, well, I guess it's it for you. So that's why Rengoku is. Now, my next pick is honestly a little bit more speculative. My next pick is Mitsuri Kanroji. That's my next pick. I don't think she has enough feats. I mean, yeah, she goes against Upper Moon. I think it was what, 5? Or was it 4? Yoko was 4. And Tengu was 5. Tengu was 5, I believe. Yeah. And Gyoko was 4. She went up against 5. She was doing her thing. Unlock her Demon Slayer mark. Went on to get, enlightened further. Fought Muzan. Like she put in a lot of work. She put in a lot of work, and because of that reason is the reason why she's above Rengoku, Uzui, and Shinobu. But based on the showings of everyone above her, yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. So that's my take for that. I don't really have anything else to say. She's the physically strongest, but when it comes to the rest of her stats, I don't have her going up any higher. Now, this is where things become a little shaky. Because even when I'm looking at this list, I'm not sure if I would believe that because of the simple fact that I'm gonna change my mind. Instead of Mitsuri, I was gonna put Giyu at number 5, but instead of putting Giyu at number 5, I'm gonna put OpenEye. I feel like everyone thinks that Giyu is not that great, and Giyu isn't that great. But this guy, he's cool. He's hard. Fought Muzan. Fought Muzan, but that's it. Granted, he held his ground for a long period of time. Like no one else was like standing on business as much. So Obanai had to do what he had to do. He was locking in. He was doing his thing. Obanai was he was in there. He was getting with it. Snake slithering, all that jazz, the snake breathing, coils, and whatever snake terms else comes to mind. He was getting it. But I do think because of the way that Giyu fought Akaza, then went on to fight Muzan, then went on to fight Tanjiro, like they're just the durability of Giyu and the stamina and then the consistent movement, the consistent strength. Obanai might be able to plateau Giyu in strength and maybe plateau him in speed, but because of the way that Giyu performed and how long he performed for, is the reason why I still have him. I still have Iguro above Mitsuri, but below Giyu. And obviously, for that reason, number 4 is Mr. Water Hashira himself, Giyu Tomioka. For obvious reasons that he's not going in the top 3 is the same reason why he's sitting in the 4. Giyu is a crazy swordsman, inventing his own water breathing technique. Mind you, none of them, well, to be fair, I don't know if the rest of them have created their own styles, but they learned it from somewhere. Maybe they created it. I know Mitsuri did create her own breathing style, I believe. I don't think she was taught that. I think everyone else might have been on the same page, but Giyu made an additional breathing technique called dead calm, and that was benoodles. And it's low key, it's a form, in my opinion, it's a form of hacks because what it does is he just like cuts everything, and I feel like that's something you can't take away from him. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things, and that's why Giyu is sitting at number 4. Now, this is where I think that these two are interchangeable It just depends on how you interpret the fight. So number 3, I have Muchiro. Muchiro was able to beat an Upper Moon by himself, and the thing about it is that he could have done it again. And I don't think there's many people who could be in his shoes that could have done the same thing. I can only name 3 off the top of my head, and there's 2 that are ahead of him. The voice. There's 2 that are ahead of him, and he's the 3rd one that I can think of. I don't think anyone else would have been okay in that situation, even Mitsuri. I just don't think it would have been a good time. But Muchiro unlocking the red blade, the see-through world, and be able to fight Kokushiba until help arrived, even though he died, split in half, and all that jazz, and still locked in. Yeah, no, he's up there. He's up there. He has to be. And for that same reason with Obanai is the same reason why Muchiro stays at 3 and not 2 or 1. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. There's no other reason why Muchiro should be any higher. Because at number 2, we got Sanemi. And I think it'd be better to explain why Sanemi is not number 1 as opposed to explaining why Sanemi is number 2. Sanemi is not number 1 for the strength, the speed, the durability, the stamina, the showings, and in addition, admitting to holding back Guillaume while fighting Upper Moon 1. That's some form of inferiority. But what Sanemi does have is the perfect kit for synergy. The wind breathing that he shows and the drunken blood that he has, he shows up and he shows out. That man was throwing them things, and he went on to fight Muzan, I believe, after, if I recall correctly, and unlock the Demon Slayer mark. I mean, well, everyone did, but Sanemi was getting up there. He was getting up there, and he's one of the only Hashira to survive besides Giyu, and that's crazy to me. That's crazy. But that's why Sanemi is number 2. And if it isn't self-explanatory, you got Mr. Crying Buddha himself. Well, that's sometimes what I call him. Guillaume Himajima. Number 1. Big dog. Top dog. The man on the mission. He's like that. He's built different. And y'all know that. Fought Upper Moon 1. Almost on par, mind you. A lot of people say that he didn't, but I believe he did. Maybe not to an extreme extent, but Guillaume was definitely hanging with him. And then right after that, went on to fight Muzan. Although he met his untimely death, he went on to fight Muzan after fighting Upper Moon 1. Like, that's crazy. So, all the feats that Guillaume has, call it what it is. Call it what it is. Guillaume is standing on business. He's definitely top of the class. And every Hashira knows that. Every person knows that in Demon Slayer. If anyone argues that Guillaume is weaker than any of the Hashira, we have an issue. Like an actual issue. Factually, mentally. Like there's a problem. There's an absolute problem. It needs to be fixed. I wanted to put you up higher. I really did. But that's my ranking for all the Hashira. And I felt that with the new season coming out, I might as well give my take of where I ranked the Hashira. And that's just what it is. So, this is TVG, signing off. Thank you. Peace.